over there?
Well, actually, you know what? There's a critical thing. I moved from Winnipeg. I'm
You
in
have?
Toronto.
You're in Toronto
Yes.
now? What? All right, let's talk
Yes.
about it.
Yes.
Because that's where we are.
I know we talked once, and I was in Winnipeg
Yes.
for a year, yeah. And then so I moved to Toronto mid 2019 June.
Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
you moved to Toronto to
I've been
do
moving, yeah.
still cooking.
Yes.
Big things though to move to Toronto because now you are venturing on a new venture. Let's talk about it.
Alrighty, so and also let me just add. So last year I also won, best black chef in Toronto. So let's just add that to the Winnipeg one as well. And yeah, man. So in June I was in Winnipeg, finished my diploma in hotel and restaurant management, and working, doing my catering. I was still working on my book at the same time.
Yes.
And then for some reason, I'm like, it's time to go. And I'm like, what? I just got this apartment and everything. And I'm like Toronto just calling. So
more Jamaicans are in Toronto than anywhere else.
Yeah, man. And it's more central as well. It's more central. Winnipeg is way too cold and it's a different kind of population.
But Toronto is also more expensive. You're going to have more competition in Toronto, and you still pick up yourself. And you said one more challenge for Noel.
One more challenge because and that's what everyone was saying. Like, Toronto is very expensive and it's very competitive, and everyone was more focusing on the competition. But I'm like, how can you win if you run away from competition? That's why you're going to stand out. Like you say, don't run from a race. After Paul, Shelley, and all these people.
Yes.
So why should Chef Noel run?
Did you hear that? Let's just pause for a cause. The man says, how can you win if you run from competition? I love it.
You can't.
I love it.
You gotta be bold and brave, man.
Oh.
So, man. So I did just that, and honestly, when I came here in June, I went back to Jamaica, did some stuff, I came back, then I was nominated for that award. And then by that time, I was doing lots of press here on all the morning shows.
Yes.
And the love in Toronto was just welcoming, and they were waiting on Chef Noel. And I started working with Grace Foods and Jerk Press, and I just in the system now.
So now, when people want your food, they get it how?
Where? Are they?
In Toronto, if I jones in for some Chef Noel food, how am I gonna get it?
Alrighty, so what I was doing was more catering and stuff like that. So now I finally have a location which everyone keeps asking, where can we find you? Do you have a restaurant? Because I see my food on Instagram and I couldn't tell them where they could find me. So now they can find me downtown Toronto at 300 College Street. I now have a restaurant and it opened last Tuesday.
Oh, so I congratulate you 100% on doing that.
Thanks so much, man.
I wish so much success for the business, but I have to also ask the tough questions because you are opening a restaurant at a time where food service has been a tough business. Where people doing the whole quarantine thing and the social distancing and they're not eating out as much. And here comes Noel saying, I'm opening a restaurant.
Yeah.
How that work?
Yeah. Well, Noel like risk. I'm a risk taker, and the thing is that I look on is that a lot of people now doing Uber Eats, DoorDash, and they're eating up. People,
which is these so we know we don't have those at home. So these are the delivery services that you can actually order online. Exactly, kind of like that. You order online and it gets delivered to your door, so you don't have the risk of physically going out and taking train and all those things to try and get the food. Got you. So what happened at the start of the pandemic? Everyone started to cook. All who couldn't cook started to cook. But now after a while, you can get paid of your own cooking. You're inside, so you find that no one. Then you want to order something out. And I was even going through Twitter and I saw some guys. These are top food reporters and writers and sommeliers. We're talking about that they don't know what's happening, but since the whole pandemic, they're craving Jamaican food. They didn't say Caribbean food, they say Jamaican food. And I felt good about that, even being a Jamaican and being here. I'm like, wow, that's really good. And it so happened that a few weeks ago, maybe a month or two now, I was doing my podcast and a guy on it, we were talking about restaurant, and he said, Noel,
would you do a restaurant? And I'm like, not yet, because I want to travel some more. Restaurant kind of pin you down. I'm not ready for that yet. And it so happened that a few weeks later, I got this offer to do the restaurant. And I'm like, this is not what I want. This is just a divine move.
Wow.
For those who believe in divine intervention. And I'm like, this is not what I want, but this is what, the Almighty wants for me. So I'm just following this and following the journey.
Let's talk about the menu. What is on that menu? So when I step through the door of Noel's restaurant, what am I gonna be eating?
Alrighty, so what I do, I call my business Cuisine by Noel. It's my style, it's my interpretation, it's just my way. I'm easily bored, so I have to change things up. So you might come today, it's something different. You come tomorrow, it's something different. But what I have on it, which everyone seems to be loving, is the coconut fried jerk chicken, which I consider to be the Jamaican fried chicken.
Coconut fried jerk chicken, how'd that go?
Alright, so it's like a jerk marinated chicken, and I use my nice breading and stuff, and, can't get too much. But it has the flavor of Jamaica. I will love coconut, and I will love our jerk.
Definitely.
And I use a honey hot sauce and that, which is, and I use a festival waffle, so just like we have a festival dough, I turn that into a waffle.
Oh,
so you get the taste of the festival, but it's a waffle.
Fantastic. So people will look at it and see something that is familiar, even if they're Canadian, but then they taste it and it's a whole nother experience.
It's an whole other experience. And then I have because Canadian love poutine, so I do an oxtail poutine, I do a jerk chicken poutine, and I have the curry goat spring roll. Of course, the regular jerk chicken, and I'm using my own jerk marinade that I have, and it's a typical stuff. And then I do daily specials. Stew peas Wednesday, all kind of thing like that.
What in the stew peas?
So stew peas, of course I'm going to do the pigtail one and the no pigtail one.
Oh, yeah.
Jamaicans love them pigtail.
You can get pigtail in Canada?
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Very cheap. And I have a next one that I use some smoked oxtail and stuff in,
Oh, man. What do you love to eat? So when you miss home, when snow pelts you, when you just want to feel that connection to home in your heart and in your belly, what is that meal for you?
You know what, meal for me is very simple. Honestly, I just put some jerk marinade and some chicken inside the oven and maybe some rice and peas. Even on a Sunday, you see that vegetable that you like at Jamaica, the one of the cabbage, the carrot, and the vinegar.
Yes.
It's like a box food vibe.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it for you.
Yes. And so my fried chicken and make curry gravy,
Oh, but
so
in Jamaica, right? If you have a restaurant, a cook shop, whatever, you have to have a pot of curry gravy, even if curry not on the menu that day.
Man.
Canadian market love curry gravy too.
Yes, they do. They do. I'm tell you, on the rice. Yeah, and the other day I was here. Of course, I missed some Jamaican KFC, and I actually did my own. So Colonel, watch it.
What is it about the KFC in particular here that make it so different from anywhere else in the world?
I think because, let me tell you, Jamaicans, we're known for bold flavors. We're known for bold flavors, and there is just a special touch about Jamaicans. And that's the same reason why we have so many Jamaican restaurants around the world, because you don't have to be professionally trained to have a Jamaican restaurant, because we grow up and we can cook. It's a culture where you have to go to the kitchen, go learn this, learn that. Some people don't stay in it, and I think we just know flavors. Yeah. And a quick one, I almost got a job once at this Georgian-style restaurant, and I don't know nothing about Georgian cuisine. But the guy said that he would employ me because Jamaicans know bold flavors, and Georgian cuisine, they are bold.
Yes.
And then for us, we take pride in what we do, too. We take pride in what we do.
I actually was skimming through. You have a Pinterest page, and you make my mouth water, because Pinterest is all about just the visuals, and there's just some beautiful food that you've been able to curate on that page that make people just long for home and the tastes of home. So I see you connecting on so many different platforms. One of the things that I love that you do as a chef is you're not a chef that's just in the kitchen. I hear you talk about your podcast, you have a Pinterest page, you're active on Instagram, you are connected. Why is that so important to you?
That's a very good question, and that's very important. That one is for networking. Networking is very important. Two, one, you also got to keep relevant as a chef because our industry is really, we call it a back of the house industry, and chefs are just being noticed on the front page then, since we have like Food Network and all these stuff. And as you can see now with the pandemic where everything is online and social media, and business will go for the person who they see because people don't have time. People are very lazy to be skimming through to find people. So the first person they see or who they see, that's the person they're going to grab to do whatever. And then for me, I realized that I just don't want to just be in the kitchen to be a chef. I want to be able to speak on any culinary topic. I want to be able to do my podcast. I want to be able to inspire people through my book and my recipes. Just the way like we see, you know, the Gordon Ramsay, the Bobby Flay, the Martha Stewart and all these people. That's how I envision myself as well as a brand.
Wow. Tell me what your hopes are for the restaurant and what your hopes are certainly for 2021. People are afraid of making predictions because of how 2020 turned out for some. But you have dreams, you have goals and aspirations. Where do you want to see certainly this year end for you?
Alrighty, so for the restaurant, I would love to see more people coming in. So far, trust me, I got some people coming from very far to support. You know, on Saturday gone, like they're coming from Oshawa, which is like 2 hours, a hour drive just to buy food, and which is very good. And I love to see more of that. And I'd love to see if we could get back to a space, even just to have a minimum amount of persons inside the restaurant again, where I can actually plate food on plate instead of box, and you know, see people and meet people. And then in terms of 2021, like, I just think that this pandemic, you know, it's very bad, but it's also has some good in it. And it's for us as humans to see the good inside the bad. And don't let this pandemic just have you watching Netflix and chill on different series, because when this pandemic's over, it's a person who are working now that will succeed or will be on top.
Absolutely fantastic. So
let's use this time wisely, and you have people becoming billionaire, like Tyler Perry became a billionaire in 2020, you know, not because of 2020 alone, but of the work that he was doing over the years, and then 2020 now, you know, when people lose, people gain. So you have to know which side of the fence you want to be on, if you want to be on the losing side or the winning side. And honestly, now's the time to be on your mark. So when COVID lit for them, say, look, you have to live with this thing. You're gone.
You see, you dropped 2 gems that I'm going to hold on to very tightly. One, you had said, you know, how can you win if you run away from the race? I love that. And that expression about, you know, when people lose, other people win is a true thing. Is a true thing. When you think about money, money doesn't just disappear. It's a physical asset. And so if somebody money spend, somebody collecting that same cash, which end of the equation are you on? Which end of the equation are you on?
Like, how can I create an online platform? How can I create this? How can I get more delivery service? You have a bike. How can you go and get a short print and say, okay, I am now doing some delivery. You start some business like pivot, you know, and sometimes you find yourself when you're lost. And when you shoot, that's when you have to pull your parachute. And you know you have all of these skills and these strength in you until you're reaching some deep waters.
Noel
and then someone asked, when you open a restaurant now in a pandemic? I said, look, the biggest adventure you can ever take is to live the life of your dream. And for me, if I have it for 2 years, 3 years and it don't work, at least I can say I had a restaurant.
You, Noel Cunningham, are a star. Chef Noel Cunningham, folks. Go check out his restaurant in Toronto, Canada. And I wish you all the success in the world.
Yes, man. I thank you so much, and thanks for the support.
Always.
Nationwide, always, on my side.
Always. We take a break, folks, right here.